All right, guys, it's Stonked out here. Sorry for the late post tonight, but I've been like super busy with work. But I'm still posting, so I'm here. Let's get into a little review of what happened today. It was extremely choppy in the markets today, and then tomorrow is going to be freaking nuts. So hold on to your seatbelts. I'll try to keep this as brief as possible and very informative for you guys, so you guys are prepared for tomorrow. Some big news is going to be coming out. But right now, let's do a little review on what happened today. All right, guys, market net flow on SPY here was pretty it was pretty neutral most of the day, right? We came above here on calls, but puts were coming up at the same time. We did have a slight drop here on puts about midday, and we did have a slight rally come up, but we pretty much ended up even on the S&P 500 today. So yeah, we were slightly red, just slightly at the end there. We did have a drop. And something to note for later on in this video is calls did ramp up quite a bit at close, but again, still calls were ramping up as well. It was still above zero. So you do have to make note of that. If you're a perma bull, you got to make note that puts were definitely above zero. And we've been in this really strong downtrend as well. So bears are definitely in control here. So let's go into some levels I'm looking at. So I did, in previous videos, I did say that 358 is a pretty strong support level. We are below it slightly. We might be above it right now in futures trading. But nonetheless, this really big red bar on the game exposure is 358. So we do have some work. We've been kind of hovering around 356, 357. I feel like in between all those levels are market makers are kind of holding up SPY right now, kind of getting ready for the CPI inflation data coming out tomorrow morning, which I do want to talk about real quick as well. But going into tomorrow, that 358 level is really strong. But no one really knows what's going to be happening for inflation data tomorrow morning. But since I'm talking about that a lot, let's just get into that. So tomorrow, if you guys don't know, CPI data is some of the most important data. For right now, you guys know that inflation is running rampant in the markets. Everything is super expensive. It's destroying my bank account, to be honest. But yeah, we have CPI data, which basically gauges the how worse or how good inflation is doing in the markets. On average, it's hovering around 8% right now. Last time it was 8.3% last month. So tomorrow will be that data coming out from all the data coming out from last month. So for the month of September, that data is coming out for how inflation is doing in the financial markets and just the USA in general. So the forecast is 8.1%. So anything below that, I'd have to say that the market is going to rally like pretty heavy. If it comes out 8% or below, it's going to be super good for the perma bulls. We're going to have a nice rally. But on the contrary, if we do get anything above 8.1%, 8.2%, 8.3%, that is very bad for the markets, which it just means that inflation is getting worse and everything that the Fed is doing is not working. So that could mean that the Fed could raise interest rates by 100 basis points, which is just a single percent, 1%, which is very bad. But we won't know that until tomorrow morning. We'll see that inflation data, and then the Fed will discuss what they're going to do to combat that if it does. If it's good, they'll discuss that to see what they can do to improve that to keep the inflation coming down. But if it's worse, yeah, you know what's going to happen. The last CPI data was September 13th, I want to say, for August inflation data, and we fell in the S&P 500, or SPY specifically, we fell about $23 overnight. So yeah, just to give you a little taste of what tomorrow might bring, it might get pretty hairy on both sides. So I'm getting prepared for both sides. So yeah, guys, I mean, there's nothing really much else to share. I hope you guys kind of stayed out of the market today. It was really choppy. Tomorrow is going to be really fun. Be very cautious, guys. That CPI data will be coming out an hour before market opens, so 5:30 my time and then 8:30 Eastern time. Yeah, guys, watch out for that. Look out for the actual. If it comes out at 8% below, good for bulls. Anything above 8.2%, good for bears. Hope you guys have an awesome night. I hope you guys actually watch this. It's kind of late on the East Coast. But nonetheless, let me know what you think of this video. If you like these longer ones, 5-6 minutes, or if you want me to do 2-minute ones again. Let me know in the comments. Have a good night, guys.